Okay, hey everybody. This video basically is sparked kind of course, these videos are, I'm pulling from them from our talk show, The Gumbo Cafe, that we host on Tuesday nights on Blog Talk Radio on the Woman Radio channel. But we spoke a little bit, or I spoke a little bit about the difference between a lady and a woman. And a lot of our problems today is because we are acting as the woman we're acting as the lady, but by nature we are the woman. And what I mean by this is that in origin, like I said, the lady is a creation of man, whereas the woman is natural. Now, those of us who are more into the goddess, understand the goddess and working with the goddess and honoring or worshiping the goddess energy, understand that the goddess is not the lady. The goddess is the woman. Now, in understanding that, the woman naturally has three phases. It's the maiden, the mother, and the crone. Or, if you want to be more correct, it's the whore, the mother, and the crone. Because the whore or the maiden is the woman who's carefree, who's out there learning and experiencing and creating, and she's honoring herself as well as her sexual energy. Now, this does not mean that she sleeps with any and every dick that comes near her. No, it does not. But it doesn't mean she's a virgin and she's waiting for quote-unquote marriage to have sex either. She owns her body, she understands her body, or she's learning her body, and she's understanding energy. And she'll only mate with vibrations that'll vibrate with her. Now, with that, when you understand the lady is a creation that was based off of the mother aspect, where the mother is, while she's still very sexual, very free, she's a little bit more refined because now she has this child with her. It's not that she doesn't want to show the child all of herself, it's that she has to put energy in this child, so she doesn't have all the time she had before to do whatever she wanted, how she wanted, when she wanted. So with that, it comes a little more refined. With that mother energy, she also learns a new type. She goes through the mother aspect. Now, in the mother aspect, like again, she's learning, she's living, she's also grooming the child. That child could honestly be anything. It doesn't have to be a physical child. It could be a business. It could be a garden. It could be anything that she takes on as hers, that she's putting more time and effort into to groom and nurture and give life to. That's basically the mother energy. It doesn't necessarily have to be a physical giving birth to a child. And then there's the crone. And the crone phase is when she's went through, the wild child, so to speak, and she's went through her mother phase. And in the mother phase, she's still a wild child. It's just not as out there at the moment because her time and effort needs to go somewhere else. And then in that, she grabs wisdom from this. And from this wisdom, she's able to share with others. But a lot of times, of course, as a woman, just like we have monthly cycles, we go through that cycle over and over again. There's the huge cycle where we go through. Whereas, we're born, we're teenagers, we're adults, and then we're older, we're the crone. But then in between that cycle, we go through the same cycle over and over and over again. Monthly, physically with our body, mentally and spiritually, however long it takes to learn lessons and understand the world around you and reconnect with things around you and get a better understanding, better connection. It goes over and over and over again. So with that understanding, they took the mother aspect, the one that was more able to be controlled, because in the mother aspect, you have something to lose. So they took that, and from that, they created the lady. And within the lady, you have, the lady is the woman who is seen and not heard. She is more refined. She's into fashion, which is nothing wrong with fashion. She's into clothing, which is nothing wrong with clothing. But it becomes kind of a trap for her because this is the appearance she has to keep up. The lady is used for breeding purposes. That's why you get the trophy wife. She comes from a good stock. And breeding purposes didn't necessarily meant physical beauty. In terms of the lady, breeding purposes meant her family line, the money that she had, the prestige the family name carried. That's what I meant for breeding purposes. So because that name carried a certain prestige, she was only allowed to breed or mate with certain type of men, not always of her choosing, mostly picked for her. On top of that, the lady, because she had to be and act a certain way, her hands had to be soft, her feet had to be soft, her feet had to be silky smooth. She did not cook for herself. She had ladies in waitings who did that. She had cooks, and maids and basically everything for that. Most of the time, she didn't even do her own hair. She had somebody that came in who styled her hair for her, who dressed her for her. And she also did not breastfeed, or was not allowed to breastfeed her own children. She had a milkmaid or a nursemaid, is what they called them. And this is because there was a fear that her breasts would go to the position that most other breasts would, and it wasn't appealing to the so-called men, because they like the most. I'm not gonna say men, most males, like the appearance of the maiden or the whore. But they but they know she can never be controlled. And the only version of the female that can be controlled, or the only time, is that mothering phase, because she has something to lose. She has something that she will sacrifice herself for. And that's not a bad thing either. But that's the one that got caught up with the lady. And with that, the men wanted her breasts to stay looking a certain way. So she sacrificed breastfeeding her own child and handed her off to a milkmaid just so her breasts could still look like the maiden. She did not know how to sew. The only thing she really knew was prayers and hymns and stuff like that, because she's supposed to be the lady has to be a good Christian, Muslim, or whatever religion that they were in. They had to be the perfect spitting image of it, of what it dictate that woman's supposed to be. So this is getting long, but once you understand this, you can start understanding where a lot of problems in your life come from. The lady wasn't able to act out in certain ways that the woman was. And when you start understand that lady is a title, when you go into history and study the title of the lady and who these ladies was, and then you look at the women, there were differences. The women were totally free. The ladies were not. And somehow we got trapped into this idea that the ladies are the thing that we go for. Anytime you want to make somebody a slave, you have to go for the mind and not the body. As long as you go for the body, the mind is always going to try to fight it, and the body can take whatever pain you put on it. Women give birth all the time. The body can take whatever pain you put it through if the mind is strong enough. So with that being said, you have to go for the mind. And these people, and I'm not going to say all men, because some of the women who got jealous of some of the ladies who got jealous of women created this the great divide and this prestige over the lady too. They in the difference. You can start to see the problems between the two, and you can start to see the problems in your life. You start to ask yourself, why am I supposed to do this? They say you're supposed to do this because they want you to be the lady, but you're naturally the woman. So now you have to fight between this perception and who you naturally truly are. I didn't go too deep into it, but that's pretty much the difference between the lady and the woman. And we are not ladies. That is a creation of man, a perception that they gave us. If you want to participate in that perception, that reality, there is no problem with that. It's a beautiful thing to say. I love looking at ladies in their dresses and stuff like that. I love couture gowns. It's just not for me. And I love makeup. That's one secret most people don't know about me, is that I actually love makeup. But if you want to be a lady, understand it so you can start using it for you and not the world using it against you. If you want to be a woman, hey, go ahead and be the woman, but understand the different perception out there and how they got caught up. So you can start teaching our women underneath us growing up that, hey, there's the lady and then there's the woman. This is who you truly are. This is a perception that you can opt into or opt out of. So with that, this video is getting a little bit long. I hope that gives you at least a little bit of understanding and spark of research regarding that. Everybody stay blessed.
The 70s was to build a better community. They knew it started from within. They knew it started from within the circle. It had nothing to do with, hey, brother, you just got out of the pen. You are worthless. No. It didn't go with, girl, you a baby mama, and, you just sleep around. No. Let's all work together, build and grow, because the power of energy within itself and positivity within itself builds something so strong, not even man can tear it apart.
Can I say this, that I think to women, a lot of people just really don't know how to express themselves. And they want they want to just put it all out there, but they're afraid and they're meek.
So, how is it a woman who is not aware of the feminine or whatever it is that, how is a woman who is not aware of the feminine can groom into knowing what energy she carries to get to the ultimate goal? And the ultimate goal might not be a man. The ultimate goal might be to build on something else that she's looking for. What are y'all suggestions?
You mean, I don't understand. Say the question. You're asking how would she know her energy?
Yes. Yeah. How would she know her energy? When a woman knows her true essence of a human being, how would she know to groom that?
She has to know the power of thought. She has to know the power of thought, how the energy and thought can travel and kind of manipulate things to manifest the way she wants to. If that's how you're asking it.
Yeah, that's how I'm asking. So I'm going to take this in a different direction because when you talk about women and finding their essence of themselves, the first thing I'm going to say is whatever spiritual system you're in, find the divine feminine because every spiritual system has a divine feminine. In the major religions, it's mostly hidden. In the other religions that me and Jade are in, it's not hidden, it's out there and it's in your face. Find the divine feminine aspect of that and study that and see if that's what you want to be first. And if not, switch to a religion or a spirituality system that has the setup that you want to embody. That's one. Two, the second thing I'm going to say is...
Yes.
The second thing I'm going to say is what I always say is, of course, astrology. If you know how to read astrology, you can understand it, fine. Get your astrology, you can get it for free. If you don't know how to understand it, you need somebody to break it down simple. Of course, I'm going to suggest myself because I don't just do general. I break it down in certain areas, and personality is one area I break it down in. Get an astrology reading and understand your own personal makeup.
Hold on, I got to see the topic real quick. Y'all, excuse me. Are women lying? Secrets they leave behind. And I guess it will kind of tie into our astrological signs and the moon signs, sun signs, ascending signs, the Venus and Jupiter, all of those planets, Saturn, communication. Do we lie as women, or is not even as a whole, but as individuals to reach that ultimate goal? And if so, what do you think our ultimate goal is for each group of women? First, looking at present time, and then looking at astrological or what have you. What do you think it is we're doing it? Are we doing it as a collective? Because we've been all accused as being women that we're no good, we're negative, we're liars, we're cheaters, we ain't shit. We've heard all of this. Do you guys think that it has been a form of protection for us to I guess hide our true identity, which is that ascending, or are we doing it again, like Dia and Jade were saying, for other purposes, because it was self-taught or it was taught by generations? What do you guys think?
I personally think part of that lying goes back into the difference between a woman and a lady. Like, again, a lady was... This is how I personally feel. Regardless of your... when it comes to your astrology sign, that all shows in just how you do it. But as far as doing it, it to me ties into being the difference between a lady and a woman, because a woman has always spoken up. A woman always said how she feel, when she feel it, then give two shits about how you felt about it, deal with it. And when you look through history, it's always been the same, and she's always been demonized for it. Now, the lady, being as though she has the image to hold, she cannot directly challenge a man in public. And behind closed doors, she still cannot directly challenge those, so she had to manipulate and lie to get the things that she wanted, or even to get him to do the things that will help him. It's not always that she manipulated for her own gain. A lot of times she did what she did for her husband.
And
To
children.
advance him, and children, to advance them in life. And in doing that, she had to manipulate and lie because she can't be the one out front. So she had to find out what's going on with the world through her ladies in waiting,
or her servants, because they was the ones, after they done their job, they went out there in the world. And from that, she was able to find certain things. This is where you get all the societies of the different wives. Whereas, you have the husbands clubs, but most people don't talk about, but the husbands have their clubs, but the wives have their own little social clubs.
Yeah.
Where if you're not part of their clique, you're not getting in. So this is where they associate with the wives. And this is where the wives did certain things and schemes and did all this other stuff to get the men to agree. Whereas the the woman, not saying that the woman didn't have a husband, if she did have a husband, she did have a man, she was up front with him. And she was able to talk to him one-on-one.